It started. It's showtime.
There you go. I can look right between it.
The Rock House of Belen.
Did you guys start it?
Well, we light them.
It started.
Sure.
Yes.
This is a bad idea.
Can people see?
Yeah.
You're missing it. Oh no. Use the other.
Oh my god.
Don't make the burn. You're burning your hand face. It's fine.
Light, you stupid thing. Yes. For our 1,000th viewer of all time. Yeah. See, if you got here early, oh Jesus, you shot that right in my eye. Hey, what are you aiming that at me for? All right. Wow, that is not at my face.
Go.
Opa!
There we go. Just in case you missed it. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Barriques Coffee, Wine, and Treat Show. Today's edition happens to be in what all the shenanigans were all about. I'm gonna grab one of these and burn my fingers. I can just see it happening.
Oh, look at they glued together.
They're glued together. This is episode 52. So 1 year ago, it was the 30th of March, actually, 2020 was the first time we got on air, and we had this sort of weird idea about, hey, let's do a Barriques QVC show. We just really wanted to have something that we could talk about and sell. That was really the whole incentive behind this thing, and it became
especially a store full of products and no customers.
Yeah, because we had opened maybe 2 days before that, and reopened after having shut down on the 19th of March. And gosh, we were looking for anything that we could do partially to keep ourselves busy, because that was one of the things that kept this thing going. It became like an every Wednesday night thing.
Yeah. And
also just to sell things. So anybody who has purchased stuff from the CWT show over the last year, we really appreciate it. Anything that we talk about, just like it was back on the 30th, if you go to the barriquesmarket.com site under events and CWT under the March 31st show section, we haven't been pounding this white Burgundy since the last hour. You can purchase anything that we talk about tonight. And I thought, though, before we get going, I thought I would show a couple of just quick pictures. Let's see. Oh, this is actually live. So this was from the first show. You can see there's been a slight change. And Finn, you look like you're about 35 pounds lighter because of the way I think you're going back, you're thin. And I clearly have lost my razor.
I think we were actually spending a lot of time cleaning, so it was probably much more svelte at that time.
Perhaps. And you can see the difference in the table, the setup. It just sort of started happening. We just started throwing more and more stuff on the table. And of course, we were at the time missing our two mascots, which is our little statue right there, and then I think our pink, the floatee, which we've tried to sell, and I still don't think we've sold any of them, was there. And then I have a couple others that were pretty funny, I thought. Let's see, we've got this is pretty good. So along the way, we celebrated some birthdays, including Finn's wife, Erin's birthday. And I got my first opportunity to see the new COVID way of blowing out a candle, which on air,
What did you try to do with your hand?
Which I thought was pretty hilarious. And let's see, what else we got here that was pretty funny.
Yeah, she didn't want to come on either.
No, she was as red as some of the products we're talking about. Oh, and this is a great one. So part of this whole experience has been us figuring out not only the show, but the technology. And we started with some seriously rudimentary stuff, not that it's so great now, but It was an iPhone mounted just on a tripod and no sound device. So the sound was really terrible. And when we wanted to bring in guests, so one of the ways for a while it was we would call and somebody would hold the phone next to the iPhone, a second iPhone. And then this was one of the best. We got one of our guests who was talking about his Bloody Mary book and a recipe that he was a fan of. And those hands are Aaron's, like literally doing kind of like a squat in front of the camera with an iPad. Oh God, that is so good. I love that. I think there's the one other. Okay, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Your head.
This has been, there have been technical issues. This is not the first time, won't be the last time, but we have done some pretty stupid things. I did we got dressed up a few times. This was the ultimate, and we had our margarita wear. We had the 4th of July hats, the whole 9 yards. So, I don't know. It's been kind of fun. And we hope that you guys have had some fun with us as we've navigated this next year. We'll see. Well, I mean, we're definitely going to do some version of the show as we go. And like we've done since the beginning of this, just sort of keep changing and try to keep it as fresh as possible. The one constant, though, certainly has been wine. And we do a wine special every week. We shoot it out to our big email list. And then we talk about it on the show here. It's always been one of the favorite things that we do, maybe just because we actually start drinking the wine at about an hour before the show, which is great.
Have a little pizza.
Have a little pizza.
No.
Have a little pizza. So the Meissan Roast de Belen is a white Burgundian white, I guess I should say, right? Made by a guy named Nicholas Patel. If you know anything about white Burgundy, one of the things you probably know is that it's expensive generally.
Oh yeah, very expensive.
Very. And Nicholas his whole shtick is to produce wines that are representative of the Burgundian terroir, but not have it cost a lot of money.
Right.
I.e. the wine that we're going to try today. So tell us kind of why you picked this and what the scoop is.
Well, I go way back to my seafood restaurant days, and I was buying Burgundy like crazy from top to bottom, from your, sub-appellated wines all the way up to Montrachet, Blending Montrachet, Sassagna Montrachet, big ticket wines. And at that time, Nicholas Patel was coming onto the scene as a great winemaker, and he got a lot of financial backing, and they got in a serious legal dispute, and Nicholas lost his name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I do remember his named wines.
Yeah.
That's right. We sold those.
So this is his next iteration, Meissan Roast de Belen. But he is a negotiant, so he is sourcing fruit from the top of Burgundy up close to Beaune, all the way down to southern Beaujolais. And this is where this white comes from, is southern Beaujolais. It's a blend of Chardonnay and Oligoté, but it's just these neutral wood just to kind of round out the flavors, aged on the lees, and it just really gives it a nice texture, but still good lively acidity. This isn't an oaky wine. This is more about primary fall apple, pear, citrus type qualities to it, with a great mineral core. So it's a great food wine.
Yeah, I mean, I love this is Let's not quite do that yet. Just a minute, Robert. I love white wine that has a little bit of body to it, that isn't just all acid, has some viscosity on the palate and stuff like that. And I love white Burgundy.
Unlike like a Maison or a Saint Laurent, which is super racy, this has actually got some nice voluptuous quality to it.
Do you know what the split, like the exact split of the grape Robert? They don't disclose?
No, there's no disclosure.
What would you think if you were to guess?
If I were to guess?
Chardonnay de Ligotay.
40 Chard, 60 Ligotay.
Okay, good. So I was going to say 60-40, which is pretty much par for the course. I would leave Finn over me any day of the week, right?
I have a weakness for Ligotay, so I kind of search it out.
Cool. So $14.99 is what this wine typically costs, which would sit on the wall of 100. But it's $11.99 is what the deal pricing is, which is just sick. And a great one to add to maybe this small stockpile that you're building that probably includes some rosé and some other things in your wine rack for what will hopefully be some upcoming warm weather.
This weekend,
perhaps. Certainly not today. It's kind of frio today.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can get that wine on the barriquesmarket.com website under events and the March 31st show. That and everything else that we're going to talk about today, including the tastings that are coming up, are out there and available for purchase at that $11.99 price. And you've got pretty much plenty of it. Like there's no risk at this point. One of the other great finds of this whole pandemic, such that there are silver linings, was the virtual tastings that we've been doing. And they have just kind of proven to be both great learning experiences as well as just a lot of fun. And certainly for myself has been one of the, I definitely have learned more about wine over these last 52 weeks, at least some of the nuances behind things and the access that we've been able to get to winemakers, negociants, sales folks, you name it, has been pretty incredible.
It's nice to be like in their backyard.
100%. Yeah. So we've got, and I think Rob is there. Yes, Robert is there. So next week on the 9th of April, we're going to be doing a tasting with Castoro Cellars. Tom Meyer, who is the winemaker, is going to be joining us that evening. But we have
Robert Cole,
who is the marketing manager for Castoro Cellars. I'm going to bring him on, and he is going to tell us a little bit about what we can expect. Hopefully, Robert, you're ready. He's giving me the thumbs up. There we go. How are you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys doing?
Super.
Awesome.
Thanks for bearing with us when we had our little technical snafu there.
Don't worry. I sprinted inside to grab my cell phone. I didn't know if it was me or what was going on, but we got luck. It's all good. But yeah, thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, very good.
We're really looking forward to next week. It seems like you guys have a lot of fun. I'm almost jealous I'm not going to be sitting on the other side of everything. But yeah, the wines that you brought in that you guys can expect to taste on April 9th, I believe it's 7 p.m. your guys' time, will be the Castoro Cellars. Castoro is here in Paso Robles, California. Which for those that aren't familiar with that, it's about halfway between LA and San Francisco, about 15 miles from the coast as the crow flies.
Hey, Robert?
Yeah.
Maybe just a little closer to the microphone, because for some reason it seems to be cutting out. I don't know if that's you or us.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
This is the beauty of all the Zoom meetings I get in these new types of things. But yeah, Castoro Cellars is coming here from the central coast of California. We're right between LA and San Francisco. They're owned by owners Niels and Ben Bootson. It's a husband and wife team. They started this back in 1983. Paso Robles had 13 wineries. They're the 13th winery back then. And now there's over 200 wineries that have kind of run over the AVA. We are 100% grown organically, SIP certified. We have wines that are going to be showing we have vineyards from both the east and west side of Paso Robles. And we're going to get into a lot of that as the tasting comes next week. We'll show some vineyard maps of the area. We're going to have our winemaker, Tom Myers, who has had over 40 harvests here in Paso Robles. He's in the 70s. So he is well aware of Paso Robles and all the changes through it. So
Cool.
Really excited to get this. And I think we're going to go over Sauv Blanc. You can see on the screen there, Sauv Blanc, our Chardonnay, something a little lighter, and then Zinfandel and Cabernet Sauvignon. But we'll really get into these wines, and Tom's a great person to talk to. And if you guys have questions, he loves to answer questions. So yeah, we're happy for it. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thanks. We're having a lot of audio issues, so I appreciate you coming on tonight, and I'm pretty excited for these wines. The base tasting pack for the Castoro Cellars tasting is really inexpensive. It's only $29 basically and change. So it's a real inexpensive way to get a great wine experience, talk to the winemaker, and get access to people that you just normally, if you went to the winery, you probably wouldn't see Tom. Maybe you would in some of these places, but to get an hour and a half of his time, that probably wouldn't happen. So
No.
pretty great experience.
And he's a nice guy, very nice guy.
So Robert, thanks very much. We're looking very forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Sorry for the audio issues if it's on my end, but I'm looking forward
no
to
worries.
it as well.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. You guys have fun.
Yeah.
All right, well, remember the fail issue? Remember when I posted to my personal Facebook page at the time? We had all kinds of, so these things happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
These things happen. All right, so Castoro Cellars for April 9th, 7 o'clock, $28.99 is the base tasting pack. You can upgrade that with some additional bottles. That should be a lot of fun. Winemaker Tom Myers. This Friday, and you still have an opportunity to purchase the tasting pack for this tasting. It's on April 2nd. It's actually going to be at 7:30, not 7. We just found out there was a conflict with the gentleman who's going to be our co-host, and we were more than happy to move it half an hour because it is Jumpy, the winemaker for Zorzal, piping in directly from Argentina.
Yep.
Which is super cool. He and his brother both make wines that we are
Four brothers.
Four brothers.
Four brothers that make multiple different wines.
Okay, well, I didn't realize that. Well,
Yeah.
I know of at least 2 of the groups that I'm huge fans of. Jumpy has graciously agreed to come on air with us at 7:30 on Friday. You purchase the tasting pack. It's 3 bottles, $44.99. You can add an additional bottle. There's a white wine, which is the 4th bottle. We normally don't leave the white hanging on its own, but it is, as we found out last week, I think we've got it priced at something like $19.99, and that's how it's included in the tasting pack. It's like a $30 bottle of wine.
Yeah, they had given us a
Super
nice
deal.
Yeah, super deal on the white.
When I went back and looked at the show last week and I saw the expression on your face when you said 29, you were like, whoa, did we make a mistake? But no, you will get an opportunity if you pick up that extra wine for the Zorzal Argentinian wine tasting. Again, that's this Friday. If you go and purchase that tasting pack, it may tell you, especially if you don't do it until tomorrow, it may tell you that you can't pick up till Saturday. We'll make sure that you get the wines and get the connection instruction information. So literally, I had somebody buy last week's tasting at Friday at like 4 in the afternoon, and the tasting was 3 hours later.
Or no, not even.
It was like 5.
It was like
Okay.
5:45.
Yeah, it was late, and we still hooked them up. So we're really very much about getting you an opportunity to meet some of these people and learn about wine in just a great environment. Obviously not like being face to face, but you just would never you'd not see Jumpy for an hour and a half.
No.
I mean, there's no chance.
No, you think of it like as going to a football game. You can be up in the bleeder seats and everybody looks like little tiny peas.
Yeah.
Or you get to see face to face,
Right.
sitting from your couch.
Right. Paul Christ or Barry Alvarez sitting right there in front of you for an hour and a half. I mean, how do you beat that? Right. Come on. That's woo. So that's this coming Friday. If we then fast forward out a little ways, on the 16th, we're doing a Prosecco tasting, which should be kind of fun.
First all sparkling tasting.
Very much so. Featuring a wine that we have had, like I said, probably like anytime if you purchase Prosecco at Barriques in the last, 10, 15 years.
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning.
Yep.
The Adami, I don't even.
Garbel.
Okay, I just think of it as the Adami Prosecco, but the Garbel Prosecco has always been there. It's the yellow label. We have 2 others of theirs that are part of this tasting as well. 2 of them are in the base tasting pack. You can upgrade to get the third. And Kristen Miles, who has done both the Lambrusco tasting with us and the Evoli tasting, will be our co-host. She's great.
She's incredible.
Yeah,
she's really a lot of fun and very informative.
Yeah, I mean, and like a lot of our guests, not only do you get the story about the wine and the winery, but she's got just like a lot of great Italian knowledge, like, you know, about the food and about the particulars of the area and stuff like that. She's a great person to sort of pimp if you've got questions about like, hey, if I go to this region of Italy, like what should I do? I mean, she's got 15 things. She's definitely one we're going to have to take on the Barriques caravan across the world when we go and do some of these wine events that we've been talking about. So that is on the 16th, the Dami Prosecco. So Zorzal this Friday, Castoro Cellars next Friday, and then the Adami Prosecco on the Friday the 16th. And we've got a bunch of other stuff coming up through the rest of April. So pretty full and pretty fun group of tastings.
I mean, Castoro Cellars. I mean, you've got classic grouping of California wine: Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Cabernet, and then your bonus wine is Zinfandel. So it's like, you think California, and those are pretty much the top four that you think of.
For the most part. Maybe if we had a fifth Pinot Noir in there or something like that. But there are
if it was 25 years ago, it'd be Merlot.
And it'd be Merlot. There you go. So that is the virtual tastings. We hope you can enjoy us and join us at some point. They're a lot of fun and definitely worth the time. We have since the beginning, I think, you know, when we did the first show, we had we had a rosé, the Villa Wolf rosé was on that show, amongst a few things. We did
Sauvignon Blancs.
Some Sauv Blancs. We did a little benefit for the service industry employees that first.
Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about the
tip randomizer.
Yeah, the tip randomizer where we would get money for employee
random person
person who worked in a restaurant in Madison area.
Yeah, there were some pretty happy people that got a bunch of change. A bunch of bucks really is what it was. So that was pretty great. But we've always tried to help out other friends in the industry. And one of the products and one of the businesses that we have been business friends with, that we have done some collaborations with, has been Doundren's Distillery. And they just recently launched their cherry rum, which I haven't actually personally had, but it's like their profile of what they do is like serious, like very intense flavor for whatever it is, whatever flavor it is that they're including in their spirits. Yeah,
they're really cocktail blending type liquors, just because the intensity, you need to kind of tone them down. And unlike your typical rum, which they make this from blackstrap molasses, sugar cane, they make their rum out of it, and instead of adding water to it to bring it down in proof, they are using Door County cherry juice, like
just straight up.
Yeah, straight up to bring down the alcohol. So there's no watering down; it's just intensifying that flavor. So it's like super cherry.
I mean, not filtered.
No.
There are probably, if you put together all the solid material that was in there, there's a cherry or two in there for sure.
And I was looking on their website as far as like some cocktail suggestions with it, and something classic with soda, like for like a summer drink. But the winter one, which unfortunately we're on the tail end of, which sounds really cool, is what they call Scrumpy.
Scrumpy.
Yeah.
What was it? What's the stick with it?
It was hot cider.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah, hot cider with a intense cherry rum.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
I think that might be have to be added to our in-house cocktail list for next fall.
That is
when we're back in the cider business.
That is good. There's going to be a lot of people asking for to-go cups for that. Yeah. You kind of got to wonder how that whole thing. For those of you that don't know, probably many of you know that the state of Wisconsin just approved carry-out cocktails. They have to be sealed in some way, and from what I've heard, some of the places they're literally just using sort of a tape, like a tamper-proof tape. I mean, come on now.
Gotta go. But I mean,
I know. I guess what's the difference?
What's the difference between that and the twist-off bottle?
For sure, or shrink wrap, which you just tear off.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Scrumpy?
Yeah, it's called Scrumpy.
Scrumpy. I wonder how they got that name. We'll have to ask Abby and the gang. The Downderins cherry rum is out there and available for sale. It's really pretty reasonable for the size bottle and everything. It's $23.99. And it's great to help support these folks who have gotten this distillery going. They got this tasting room open, and then all of a sudden, boom, COVID hit.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I think
A couple months.
Yeah, a couple of months, and they were shut down.
Yeah. So this is how you can support them. They do a coffee liqueur with our coffee, was how we originally got to know them, and they're great folks. They're all like hardcore chemists. I mean, these folks really know the science behind all this stuff. So great products to support. We definitely will continue to do so, and maybe you'll see a Scrumpy.
We'll have to see if they'll like trademark or let us use the name.
Yeah, right. Scrumpy, Downderin Scrumpy or something. We'll just make sure we acquiesce that. Well, there we go, Scrumpy. Oba. When I have a glass eye, when you shoot that right through my melon, then. Okay, so last thing for the evening, we've got a new coffee, and this bad boy is part of our Amplified Coffee collection. We did a bunch of CBD infused coffees a little more than a year and a half, actually probably almost even 2 years ago. And we've got a new coffee out there. It's called the Nighty Night Decaf Blend. And the Nighty Night Decaf Blend, the whole shtick with the Amplified coffees is they have some sort of ingredient added. Like we said, we did the CBD oil. This actually has melatonin in it. So, of course, all coffee, including decaf coffee has, a wee bit of caffeine. The decaffeination process isn't completely 100%. So we said, well, how do you really make sure that if you get decaf coffee, you're not gonna stay awake like long past when you wanted to? Why don't we throw a little melatonin in it? So we mixed some melatonin in with our best selling decaf, which is our downshift. All our decafs are mountain water process, which is just a natural chemical free way of decaffeination.
And it actually leaves all the flavor in.
Leaves all the flavor in. So you really, we oftentimes, when we will cup coffees and we have a decaf, if you didn't have a sign on it, most people would never know.
Yeah. This
coffee is going to be that same way, and it just has that little extra, it's got, in a bag, it's got 17 grams of melatonin in it.
So after a big meal, and you always enjoy that cup of coffee, but you're like, oh, I can't do it because they keep me awake.
Why is Grandpa asleep?
You may not make it home from dinner. I just have to go to bed.
Just totally lying. Go to bed. So we figured that was a good way to put this episode to bed. The 52nd edition of the Barriques Coffee Wine Treat Show. This coffee is out there and available for sale on a pre-order basis. I think April 16th is the first day you're going to be able to pick this up. So a couple weeks. Wanted just to get it out there, give you all a chance to purchase a bag. I mean, it's worth trying. It should be good fun. We'll see you for episode 53. We will be back next week. We're both going to be here, not going anywhere.
I don't think we're going anywhere for a while.
And I don't think we're quite done with this whole rigmarole. It's good to have a little bit. Got my family here, first time in...
Yeah, it's the first gallery.
The first gallery in 7 months. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for all your support over these last 52 weeks and putting up with our technical problems and everything else. We really appreciate it.
Technical and shenanigans.
That's right. We haven't burned the place down yet. So cheers, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you all next week.